do it.
So do we do it in tandem like twins?
Yeah, like the other girls that were sisters, they were like together and they're like, so like the one said her name or whatever, and she said her mixture, and the other one said the same thing. She was like, well, you know, and then they said like some story or something. But no, most people don't even tell a story. But the other one's like, yeah, our mom was such and such. She came from here, and our dad came from here, and it was a crazy thing. And they were laughing and stuff. But most people say, hi, I'm such and such. I'm from such and such, and I'm mixed with such and such.
Is it first and last name?
No? That doesn't matter. Just so you know, we're from Long Beach. We're black.
Over there?
We're black and white.
Yeah.
Or do you want exact like ethnicities
Whatever else you want to say.
However you want to say it.
involved in my mixture?
Yeah, you can like stand, or maybe you can sit down, because there's more stuff down here. You can maybe sit, like on
Oh,
the
I
floor.
won't do that.
You don't want to spit?
He's not interested in that. Okay, so whatever.
Do you want to stand?
I'll stand or sit in that chair.
So I can pull in those? Yeah.
I'm going to stand behind you. So
Yeah.
Alright.
Sounds good.
So, alright, you guys can go ahead. You look at the camera and you just say,
Hi. Am I on? Hi, I'm Joey. What you want? Name, age?
No. Name, where you're from, and your mixture.
okay. If you want to say age and stuff like that, it's cool.
You got to know all that.
All my kids are mixed or whatever.
Name, where you're from. and
Joey?
mixture.
My name is Joey. I'm from Long Beach, and my mother is Caucasian, and my father is African American.
my name is Katina. This is my twin brother, Joey. Yeah, our mom's Irish. She's got a little bit of French in her. She's Irish, and our dad's black. And we're from Long Beach, California, but I think you already said that. Huh?
Say the rest of the stuff.
That's it.
I'm
What's
just
it?
kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, no, do it again. One more time. Just for safety.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Joey. I'm from
Alright.
Oh, you make 16.
Okay. Hi, my name is Joey. I'm from Long Beach. Yeah, I'm mixed with African American and Caucasian.
Hi, my name is Katina. I'm from Long Beach, California. He's my twin brother, so we've got the same mixture. Our mom's Irish with rhythms of French, and our dad's black. Or African American, as the politically white people like to say.
Me too.
Politically correct white people. That's what I meant.
Politically white people. Okay.
Politically correct. Did you see Jimmy Kimmel? He's funny. Like, I didn't realize how funny he was, but he had this show. It was when LaToya was on, and he's like, yeah, you know, is everybody catching the Survivor? And he's like, guess who got booted off first? Yeah, the black dude. I was like, oh my god, even he knows.
Big surprise.
Okay, cool. So, let's, first off, thanks for sitting with us.
Sure.
And let's start off with where you look so interested.
What?
You just like,
And all possible for you to
Oh, yeah.
to your sister.
Well, we have to share mine.
yeah.
Oh, we're sharing. Okay. You can keep it there.
Yeah, I can't pull it out. I'm not supposed to.
You have to listen to Hermie tapes when they were kids.
Yeah.
You know what? You never heard them. So don't make fun of shit you've never heard. Even though it's just embarrassing as fuck. I actually
You
found...
still have them, do you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I found a tape when I was moving in here. And I was like, oh my god. And it's like a cassette. And it's... I forget what it's titled. And I was listening to it. And I was embarrassing myself. Like, I was like, nobody could ever hear this. Ever. I was a talk show host, and I had Scott Baio on as a guest.
That's funny.
That's embarrassing.
funny.
I played the guitar. My, 2-string guitar?
Mm-hmm. Bring, bring, bring. Like, there's no notes or, you know what I mean? It was just like strumming across 5 fucking strings. Bring, bring, bring. She didn't even attempt to, like, change the shit. Hilarious.
So let's start off from where your parents met.
Do we tell the whole CD story, or just seriously, like?
Because there's a whole lead up to it.
There is a lead up to it.
Because they would have never met in a million fucking years if things hadn't happened.
Yeah, that story could take a long time.
Well, I'll make it quick.
Okay.
Mother, one of 5, suburban middle-class white family. Father, engineer at Motorola, but a saxophone player on the side. So he would play in the city. They lived outside Chicago. He would play in the city on the weekends. My mother's father, whom we've never met. He would play in the city on the weekends, so subsequently a lot of his friends were black. And when my mom was 11, he was killed in a car accident on New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve.
Presents in the Trunk. It was very soap opera, dramatic,
so
sad.
He didn't have any life insurance, no insurance of any kind, so they subsequently lost everything and had to move to the ghetto of Chicago. And they moved into a motel. And that is where my mother and my father met.
Well, I thought Aunt Mary had moved out and Dad lived down the
my grandfather died when she was like 12, and my mom and dad met when she was 16. So there was a 4-year gap between all this nonsense, you know.
That's a tumult.
Yeah, they lost the house and had to move slower and slower into poverty. And of course, back then in the 60s, if you were in an impoverished area, the only other people that were there were black.
So, now, all of your aunts, none of your aunts were married yet, and then they all ended up
Well, they're all so young. Yeah.
Okay.
They all ended up marrying black men.
Yeah, there were 4 girls and one boy. My Uncle Jim married, of course, a white lady, and then all 4 aunts married black men. But my grandmother got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
When my grandfather died, she married one of his jam partners. Because he used to play the saxophone, my grandfather. She married one of his friends who was black.
Right. So there wasn't any taboo, obviously, to marry.
There was.
Yes.
There was
because my grandmother said, you know, it's one thing for her to date and marry a black man because she already had her kids.
Yeah, she was older and whatever.
She's like, it's different for me.
Yeah.
My grandmother actually discouraged at least procreating with the black man.
Yeah, she was, because my mom was the one, she was pregnant first by a black dude. And
she's the youngest? Or
she's
second to the youngest.
And she was the one that first was like, look, I'm going to have, and she was pregnant with our older brother. And that's when my grandmother was like, it's totally different. Like, what I do is different because we're just in a relationship, but you're bringing children into the world.
Kids, yeah.
It's a totally different story. So,
although she never treated us any differently, right? She loved us.
She loved the
but she was smart. She knew what we would go through.
Yeah, and I honestly think on my grandma's behalf, like, it wasn't about her thinking the whole idea
about
of
racism
procreating was disgusting.
It was about,
she was just like, you are not equipped to equip these children for what's going to happen to them and what is going to take place in their life. And that's that. In my mind, I mean, of course, wasn't there to hear the conversation, but in my mind and knowing what I know about my grandmother, I think that's the approach that she was taking.
But she knew how devastatingly cruel this world is, because when she married Grandpa James, who was the black man, I think they were living in Wheaton in a white area, because she tried to maintain their lifestyle as much as possible when my grandfather died, you know, but she was a housewife, so all she did was clean house and cook. So subsequently, that's the kind of job she got when you die, is cooking and cleaning houses. So, but she tried to maintain the house and house payments, but that didn't work, so they lost that house and got another one. I think they were still in a white area. But she had married a black man and moved him into the white area, and they were getting like bomb threats and Oh,
when
yeah.
is this? What, like
in the 60s?
early
Probably
60s?
early
No.
60s, maybe, because he
Well,
died
yeah,
like 60, maybe 61 he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The dad, our grandfather died about maybe
So it was
60,
like,
61.
It was mid to early 60s.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they said if you don't get that nigga out this neighborhood, we're gonna blow your house up. We don't give a fuck if all your kids are in there. We'll blow this house
And so
up.
that's when she moved out? Or?
No, she didn't move out because of that, but she moved out because she lost the house.
So she knew what you guys were.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But all of your cousins are mixed, so.
But my mom started the ball rolling. Like she gave birth in 68.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, who was next? Ruth? Carrie. No, Ruth was over
cousin.
Yeah, our cousin. And I mean, there were a couple of years, and then they just started cranking them out. They're like, why not? You know. So we were lucky enough to actually have a community of people that were ethnic like us. So, you know, we weren't terribly.
Right.
Now, did your mom move out here to California because why? Why did she? I mean, I thought maybe it was.
She came out here to get away from my dad.
Yeah, she divorced him.
She divorced him.
Moved out here, and then he hunted her down, followed her, and then she remarried him, and then had us.
But then again, if she hadn't remarried him,
yeah. Because but see what it was. The only thing is my Aunt Mary and my Aunt Patricia had like 3 and 4 babies. Aunt Mary,
between Anthony and you guys, right?
Oh, no. No, my Aunt Mary had 4, and my Aunt Patricia had 3, and Aunt Patricia was from 3 different men, and Aunt Mary was from 3 different men, and she didn't want to do that.
So, yeah, she wanted.
She's like, if I'm gonna have my babies by black men, at least they're gonna be by the same daddy. So she broke down and remarried my dad because she wanted another kid.
Okay.
So
other kid.
Yeah. She just so happened to get 2 more in the deal. So whoops. But yeah, she said she didn't want like 5 different babies from 5 different men.
So what was it like growing up with all the? Because usually, I think that's very unique to have a family where everybody's mixed, or all the cousins at least. So
the big majority of them.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
I've never heard about it.
But it was so normal that it didn't even faze me that it wasn't normal.
Well, I think what took it that one extra level is that when we all lived in the same apartment building. There was probably, an 8-unit apartment building, and each of us occupied a different apartment.
In Long Beach?
Yeah, in Long Beach.
Yeah, my Aunt Mary one, my Aunt Patricia another, my grandma another.
So everybody was there, and we grew up together like siblings. It was like a big, gigantic house that had a bunch of different rooms, and if you're feeling this way, you wanted to go here. It's like no matter what. So we grew up playing together and making up stories and games, and it was very, very natural for us.
So what was the difference between that situation and then when you went out into the world, though? I mean, how were you guys? Did you notice yet, or when did you really start to notice that there was?
Time for me anyway.
Yeah, same here.
It took a long. I don't think I noticed it until high school.
Oh yeah, because see, we grew up in a very,
They don't.
a very middle class white area. Very just people very polite and never got never that.
No, let me put a little caveat on that. The only time I was actually called a nigger was at my Christian private school. Never was I called a nigger in public school. Ever.
It was never ever an issue for me growing up, ever.
So
the only ribbing that I ever got growing up from people was from black folks.
Oh yeah, totally.
They just did not like us growing up. They could not stand us.
No, do you think it's because you grew up in an area and I mean, you probably think that you most likely grew up in a white world, mostly.
Yeah.
Okay. So did they sense that?
Yeah, absolutely.
They didn't like the way we talked.
They thought we were trying to be white.
And they didn't like the tone of our skin. And
yeah,
I think a lot of
we're bright and pretty. Because we're bright and pretty. We didn't like that.
That started happening when our dad got joint custody after the second.
But see, what it was is they thought we were all black, and we were denying our ethnicity by speaking the way we spoke. you know, what are y'all trying to be white? And I'd always carry around a little picture of my mom like, that's my mom. What do you mean I'm trying to be white? I am. Obviously not all white. You know what I mean? But, yeah, my mom's white, so yeah, I am white. Man, what?
And when did that start? How old were you when you first?
That was junior high school. No. Well, actually, yeah, junior high.
In Inglewood, when we started.
Yeah, we were little.
We had
like 8, 9.
And that was the first time we were ever, because it was basically like a culture shock. We'd go from living in Long Beach with our mom in our little white neighborhood, and then during the summers, and everything really comfortable and happy, to like Inglewood, where everybody was miserable and
confrontational, violent.
Oh, totally violent.
Just a different world. It was like going from Earth to Mars.
Yeah. And it was, and there was no reprieve. It's like, you know, when you get joint custody, sometimes you get a little bit of time here and then a little bit of time there. There was no reprieve. It was concentrated 3 months during the summer, and it was just
hell.
Like, I would wake up because my dad was
hell.
with that bitch that he was fucking, and she had all these different kids by all these different daddies, and just tried to land my dad so bad.
She had three kids by 3 different men. Yeah.
And so her daughter, she had 2 older daughters, and they actually, the oldest one was cool. She was
Bridget.
She was cool. But that middle chick, she had some fucking problems. Like, she would, like, her idea of waking me up was like punching me in the face. And the thing was, she was lighter skinned than I was, but she just had issues with me, and she had issues with us, and she was just.
Would you guys get the whole thing about the hair and the?
Not so much.
No.
Yeah, no, not so much. No, it was just.
It was just the way we spoke.
It was more.
It was the way we spoke. Just everything. Our demeanor, our clothes, everything.
Yeah.
So that's your summers. Your summers
for about, like.
It was some of the best summers of my life.
Yeah, pretty much. I still am pissed off about that shit.
Being stuck in the hood when we lived 10 blocks from the beach.
And all our friends would be crying when we leave because they would, like, we're going to do this during the summer. And
we're not.
And I'm like, yeah, we're going to be stuck in fucking hell.
Yeah.
Dealing with this shit.
How long did that last?
We're going to be stuck in Ice Cubeville. I'm sorry, we just weren't used to that shit.
Yeah, that's what we were made of.
We just were not raised like that.
Well, do you feel that you missed out on some black culture?
No.
See, the thing is about that, and I think about that a lot, and for me, I don't necessarily think that living in the heart of fucking England is getting you entrenched in black culture.
Because not even black people are aware of their own fucking culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not even aware of their own goddamn history. So what the fuck can they teach me about it? You know?
Right.
And I think that being confused and being angry and feeling like you're constantly competing and that everybody has to be down in the bottom of the barrel with you because that's where you are, as some sort of like black nationalistic kind of solidification process. Like, I don't necessarily think that that's the black experience, or that has to be the black experience. That's one interpretation of what it's like to live in America as a black person, but I don't think it's the only interpretation. And I feel like I'm just as, disenfranchised at times as anybody else. So why is my experience, because I grew up in a white neighborhood, because I'm educated, any less valid than someone who grew up in the middle of fucking, like, Watts and has fucking guns at the age of 2? And, like, I don't think that that's more authentic and more organic than anybody else's experience.
Now, I'm sure that there were some, when you started middle school or high school, white people didn't just automatically welcome you.
No.
I don't know. I had a totally different experience with it.
Okay, I'll say this. When I was little, and a little kid, white people were very accommodating, very welcoming, very just not making you feel any different than anybody else. But the second I became a grown-ass man, all that fucking shit changed. The second I became 6'1", a 6'1" black man.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just start clenching their purses, and white men all of a sudden see you as a threat. I will give you an example.
I like it when it gets me out there.
I wanted to knock him upside his head so bad, because I had my measuring tape, and that thing is big and metal. I just wanted to, but I didn't. I kept myself composed. I was in Lowe's, okay? I was in Lowe's, and this shit only happens in fucking Orange County.
Yeah.
You don't just, they're not just white and like proud of being white. They're fucking white and hostile. They got a fucking chip on their shoulder. They got to prove that they're not scared of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going out Lowe's. Mind you, okay, Lowe's has 3 sets of sliding doors. And each set has 2 fucking windows that go like this. On each fucking pane, it said exit. And just in case you didn't read English, that shit said exit and then Saldia or whatever the fuck that is in fucking Spanish, okay? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 motherfucking doors that say exit on it in big, bright red fucking letters, okay? I'm coming out the exit. I have a $300 goddamn strip light that I'm putting in this house, okay? I'm walking out the fucking exit. This white dude comes walking in the fucking exit, okay? I see him coming, right? And my first reaction was like, oh, let me let him by. I was like, wait a minute, no. I'm going out the motherfucking exit door, okay? They clearly market exit, so dumb motherfuckers like that will not walk in when somebody like me, who's a purchasing customer, walks out with an expensive item that might fucking break.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't bump into me. That's why they clearly market an exit. But this motherfucker needs to prove a point that he's not going to move out of my way. He's going to stand his ground. Okay? So I'm walking out. And he's walking towards me. I said, I'm going to stand my ground. No. I just bought this shit and I'm going out the fucking exit. I don't need to move. You need to move. You're going in the wrong motherfucking door.
Right.
So he just keeps walking towards me. And to prove he's not going to fucking move, fucking elbows me as he passes.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Walks right towards me, didn't move, bought my shoulder, and elbowed me as he came by. I'm like, this motherfucker. I said, okay, hold on. I'm fucking goddamn booties do. I said, let me say a chat. Let me fucking guys. Like I was ready to take that measuring tape and just crack him upside his fucking head.
Right.
Be like, motherfucker, you know, explain to him. Yeah. Let me write it down like you're a fucking kindergartner. See that red letter?
Yeah.
English, in case you don't speak English, Spanish. If you don't speak Spanish, let me get you an interpreter. That's exit.
Right.
Okay? I'm going out the fucking exit.
Right.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
And so the point also being is that they see you as a black man. So
They see me as a fucking nigger.
yeah.
I'm beneath them. You know? And
When was the first time that you remember feeling that?
grown. Definitely. I was way fucking grown. Never as a little kid. Never.
Yeah, I didn't feel that as a kid either.
Not in high school.
Never. Well, high school, there were. I think dating was sort of had some weight and heaviness to it, but there wasn't really. Because I remember just constantly getting the whole clandestine thing. Like, guys would come to me and it's like, I always thought you were so cute. I always thought you were so this or that. But there was never anything that was out in the open. Like, it had to be so private and secret. And it was just such a norm for me that I just kind of thought that that's how it was. And I ended up not really dating anybody that I went to high school with. Like, because it just didn't make sense to me. Like, I was like, yeah, you guys are my friends, whatever.
You didn't date mostly white guys in high school?
I did. Who did I date in high school, Joey? I didn't date anybody I went to high school with.
I don't know. I couldn't stand you in high school, so I don't know.
So then how do you know?
I don't know.
You were a fucking peach to hang out with yourself.
The times I bumped into you.
Whatever.
I couldn't stand her.
You didn't stand anybody in high school.
You were very popular in high school.
Yeah, I had friends.
Yeah.
I had friends. I did a lot of stuff. Like, I was very active.
Just a bitch.
I was not a bitch.
She was a fucking
I was the nicest person that I knew.
I couldn't
You was not,
stand her.
no.
But most of the people that you hung out with you hung out with mostly the white crowd.
I hung out with the white crowd because black people were motherfucking mean to me. They
Yeah.
were so motherfucking mean to me that I was like, why? Why do I have to win you over?
They were. What I mean.
The only time that they were nice to me was my senior year when this guy died. And he was like, you didn't like him.
Papa Sean?
Yeah.
I was happy when he died.
Yeah, because he was a fucking, he was a
prick.
But like I think
beyond punk.
Yeah, he was just and somehow I don't know, because it was like the school was in mourning because he was super popular, like the football quarterback, blah blah blah, and he had graduated the year before, and he actually got killed by a drunk driver up in while he was in college, and so there was like all these mourning sessions, and for some reason I was always in the mix. I think he asked me out on a date once or something, and then we never really went out or whatever. He was real cocky, or just whatever.
He used to torment me.
Yeah, I know he did.
Papa
I didn't know until
he used
later.
to fucking torment.
But yeah, he.
Because if you haven't noticed, I'm also gay, so. Not only that biracial shit to deal with, I had the faggot shit to deal with too. So I had to fight motherfuckers off for that and fight them off for that. That's why I got suspended 16 times in fucking junior high. I had to fight motherfuckers off.
Well, that's why they were attracted to you. You didn't know how to deal with it. Oh, yes.
But you got a little dip in your hip, they think they can fuck with you. But then what they realize is I had a brother that was 6'3" at 12. You fuck with me, you gonna get fucked up, okay? Shit. You knock a girl down, but a man's gonna get up.
So why do you think that white kids made you more, they just welcomed you more than the black kids did?
I'm not really sure.
I think it just goes back to the whole politically correct way of being is perpetrated and started by white people, which isn't a bad thing, because I do think people should watch what the fuck you say. You know what I mean? You need to watch what the fuck you say around certain people. You need to be culturally sensitive. Not tell goop jokes in front of fucking Korean people. That doesn't take a fucking rocket science to figure that out. Mm-hmm. So I think that whole thing with, like, if you see somebody in a wheelchair, your mama nudge you, don't stare. You know what I mean? Black people, now I don't, and see, God, I just don't want to generalize and say, when I say black folks, that I just want a blanket statement, black people. I'm saying the ignorant, country-ass, ghetto folk that I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about educated,
sensitive,
right?
Yeah, empathetic people.
We're talking about the least common denominator when I'm talking about speaking of black folk. But a lot of times the mother, especially when we went to school, because they were bussed in.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of single moms, and
they were bussed in, pissed off.
Exactly.
Like we just gave them an excuse to
right, because we lived in an all-white area.
Yeah, that's right. Because I would have been bussed in, but I chose.
Yeah, but you chose to go there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we lived in an all-white area, so but what was that court ruling, Brown versus the board or whatever, the board demanded that all schools be mixed.
Yeah.
So we had black people, we had Hispanics, but none of them lived around there. They all came from the other side of Long Beach.
The problem, particularly with our school, was that the white population was the wealthiest in the entire city. And Long Beach is a big fucking city, and they were the absolute cream of the crop, wealthiest.
They're all with the Naples.
Yeah,
Did you ever feel that they welcomed you because, well, you guys are mixed, so you were half white, so it was okay.
You get that.
You're not black. You're not black.
Right.
And
so how do you feel when you hear that?
At first, at first, I took it as somewhat of a compliment, because I didn't identify with that whole Inglewood shit either. Like, I didn't identify with, and it's like, if somebody could see me outside of that, I felt like, thank God, like somebody's paying attention. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, it's like you look at it and it's like, what are you saying?
Right.
Like,
it's
what
almost
are you
an insult.
It is an insult.
I have very mixed feelings about it too, because if you're not black, and I tend to agree with them, you're absolutely right, I am not black. In the sense that my mom is black, my dad is black, I was raised in a black area,
black family,
black the whole black. No, that is not my experience. My mom is white, all my aunts were white, my cousins are mixed, my grandma was white, all the family I encountered all growing up was all white.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of contact with our guys.
So, no, none. So when they say, oh, you're not black, and you know what, you're absolutely right. I'm part black, but I am not black. Just like I'm part white, but obviously I'm not white.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You know,
when a man is walking through and
I'm a black
you can
man.
sense that.
Yeah.
I'm a nigga. And
Yeah.
I have this conversation with my mom all the time. And she's like, and I said, Mom, you know, when I step out that front door and I step into society, I'm a black man.
Yeah, she is not prepared to have that
You know what?
conversation.
I'm a black man. She's like, well, what about me? What role did I have to play in it? I'm like, you and I both know this. You and I both know you're my mom. And I said, and whenever we go out into public, I always make that known. Mom, you know what I mean? I always let them know, this is my, I let them know, this is my mother. You know? But that's it. You know? I'm a black man. You, it's like she sees nothing of her in us.
Yeah, and that's always been a source of strain in our relationship, because there's always been this weird desire for her to have a daughter that looked like her. She says that a lot, and she said that a lot growing up.
Well, you do look like
I think I look just like her.
You do.
But
Yeah.
she couldn't ever see it until I'm talking like in the last year or so. Like, she's like, we really do look alike. And I was like, I've been trying to tell you that my entire life.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been difficult. There's certain things about her, and I think my grandma was right. I don't think my mom was equipped. And I think because when she breaks down when we have conversations about ethnicity, she can't engage in conversation without feeling completely left out, or without feeling like we're attacking her for having procreated with a black man, or
But not only that, I think my mom identifies with victimhood so well.
me too.
And when we speak of, you know, being a minority and then being treated like a minority.
Victimhood that trumps her victimhood.
Exactly. It's like, it's like when we tell, it's like, Mom, you know, the second you're away from your mixed children, that, let's just say, taint is gone. You know, you're a white woman.
Yeah.
You go into the rooms, you blend. You know what I mean? You're
She's
fine.
attractive, so she gets
Right.
attention, and you know,
But
she's
this
gregarious.
it goes nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I
or
mean?
like when people
and she
see-
could say, yeah, well, when bosses or people in my job see pictures of my kid, they treat me differently. I'm like, yeah, but how'd they treat you before they saw those pictures?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it the second they lay eyes on me.
And not that we would ever encourage her to deny anything. I mean, but she would even admittedly had issues with having black kids, like early on. Like, it was really difficult for her.
So do you feel that you missed out in having a parent say to you, I mean, you guys met my dad, so you know how my dad sat me down and said, son, you're a black guy. You know? I mean, do you think you missed that? Do you think that's something
It definitely missed a certain sense of...
Probably, but we got it real
raising
quick.
pride.
It didn't take much, you know what I mean? It didn't take her to say that. You know, we got it real quick out in the streets.
Yeah.
So,
But, like, embracing the aspect of seeking a certain sense of pride in being... That's, I think, what we
Definitely miss.
Because even my dad, like, I remember having a conversation with him a few years ago where I was explaining to him what my approach was in life and what my take was in life, and like how the company I work for is by far the most racist company I've ever I didn't even know it was at that level. I didn't know corporate racism was at like that blatant. I always thought it was more underhand, it was more secret and clandestine. It is so not. It's so out in the open, and it's like they devour it. Like it's fucking delicious, you know. And it's trippy. And I was trying to explain that to him, and he even said to me, he's like, "Wow, I would have never thought that you would have been able to see those things." And I was like, "Why? Why would you think that I'm incapable of experiencing that?"
because he thought, because we're bright, that we don't have the same experiences as somebody dark-skinned, like my father. He's dark-skinned. But they don't realize that in the white world, if you are 1% black,
If
you're
you
a
have
fucking
anything
nigger.
that's different, it's something that is cause for alarm.
If you're not Biff,
discussion.
you're Tyrone.
Right.
or Juan, you know, or Chan, but you ain't Biff, you know.
When has being mixed been a good thing? In high school and...
It's a good thing every
Every day, I thank God I'm not white.
Oh, me too. I thank God I'm not white. I thank God I'm not all black. I just love it. I love the way I've described it to my friends is that I was like, it's kind of like getting invited to every single party on the planet. You're invited to every party. You're never invited in the back room. Like, you're never a VIP at any of those parties, but you're always invited to every party. And then you just get so fabulous that you make your own VIP area. You know, you have your own buzz and you make your own VIP area. And that's what I...
Life is definitely what you make it, and that's what I found in my adulthood.
Do you think that being mixed has helped you to learn that sooner?
I don't know about sooner.
Yeah.
I don't know if my life experiences or the deciphering, the figuring out of my life experiences would have been as deep and profound as they would have been if I was all white or all black.
Yeah. I think there's a certain sense of, like, there's a certain unconscious that happens. Like, a friend of mine, we say white people are weird. And so WPAWS, like, white people are weird because they have this sense of entitlement that they're so unconscious about, and they walking into the grocery store, walking into Lowe's, like, there's this sense of entitlement that it's so,
even though they are doing wrong.
Yeah, it's so infused in their
even though they are doing wrong,
they're not even aware of it. Like, they just are entitled.
And just like we were speaking about the new Survivor series. That white guy who just took the chicken.
Took the chicken, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's working to swim or where the chickens were at to get the chicken. Once the chickens were plucked out of the water, the hard work was done. He just went over and snatched the chicken from somebody else.
Right. And then
that's the fucking mentality I'm talking about.
And then didn't understand why the black group sent him out to the island.
Exactly.
He was talking about as though it was like some sort of racial thing.
No,
it wasn't at all.
It's your fucking
this is retribution.
It's your white ass sense of entitlement to every goddamn thing under the sun.
He interpreted what he did as correct, and that is that, like, he
because it's a game of
still
survival.
would be able to see how what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
And that's like that is that entitlement that white people have that will keep them unconscious forever, and that makes it difficult to make any breakthroughs. It makes it difficult.
Is it possible for you to have that sense of entitlement?
I have a sense of entitlement just because I feel like I feel entitled to certain things, but I don't think of it's in the same realm.
No, but like I said, being biracial gives you such a unique perspective. You are truly in the literal sense able to see both sides.
Yeah, that's very
because we are both sides. You know what I mean? We don't just see both sides. We are both sides. We literally are both sides.
How has being mixed enabled you to react differently to white people than a person who is all black would react?
Half our family's white,
right.
So it's like you don't just go into the world hating white people. Yeah. Like, the people that nurtured you and protected you and you know, clothed you and made you giggle and read you stories at night were all white. So there's an affection there.
And like I said, growing up, white people were the best to us.
They were. Yeah.
And they're most accommodating, polite. You know, my best little friend when I grew up was a little white kid.
Yeah, little Aaron.
And I was not the easiest little kid to be around, you know, but that woman, she treated me no differently than anybody else. Little Aaron, you know, little white, blonde, blue-haired kid, you know.
So sweet, such a nice kid.
And so, and then you hear me speak now so bitter and vicious sometimes about white people, and it's not because that is what was bred into me. You know, it's not because that was what was pushed in my head. No, that is what I fucking experience on a daily basis. Right. The animosity I have towards white people is from experience.
Well, that's what I think.
Not from some generalized fucking shit I have in my goddamn head.
Interesting about I think what the similarities between our experience is that you have early life where you're basically tortured by black people, like tortured by black children and black adults. Tortured. You don't know. I have no memory of any black person in my early childhood that was a nice, accommodating, nurturing, warm individual. They were all abusive. They were all mean, and they all didn't give a shit. And then it's like you go, and then there's like this whole flip side because there is this brotherhood and there is this camaraderie. That's like I was trying to explain to one of my white girlfriends about like how if you and another black person are in the grocery store aisle, you just say hi. You make some sort of connection with that person. And if you're walking down the street, you make a connection. I do. And there is this
I don't give a fuck if you black, Korean, white, or white. I ain't saying shit to you. I don't even know my goddamn neighbor. And I've seen that motherfucker every motherfucking day.
But the point I was making is that that it's reversed. It's like you grow up with one experience, and then as an adult, you get the exact opposite, where it's like white people were who you went to for nurturing and comfort, and now it's like they're the people that you
find out it's a damn sham.
And you're every single new white person that you meet, you're like, like in my head, I'm shaking my head, like, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just naturally think it, like, you're a dick. You probably want to fuck me, I know. You've never fucked a black chick before. It's like, it's just, it's.
I wanted to talk to you about relationships since you brought up part of relationships. And Joy, I want to talk to you about being an adult and dating, being a gay man, and how that, whether or not your mixture is something that you consider. But Tina, you had said to me that when you date, you don't like dating black guys or white guys.
Brown. Let me get a brown guy, because it's.
When you say brown, you mean
just anything brown, just anything that has some sort of multi-spice, some sort of like.
I have never. Okay, I've been with one white dude. I have never been with a black dude ever in my entire life. Never. Not even kissed. Never. It's just not my thing. White guys, I did it once. Can't knock it till you try it. I tried it. I don't like it. I've been with one white guy and never been with.
So you tend to date Latino guys?
That's it.
Mixed guys?
That's it. Dude, I haven't dated a mixed guy. Never. All Hispanic.
Well,
do you get along better with mixed guys?
No. Mixed guys do not want to date mixed chicks. Mixed guys want to date white chicks. For the most part, you are an exception to the rule. Trust me. You are the only mixed guy that I have ever met in my life that prefers the darker the better. You're the only person that I know. Mixed guys do not want to fuck with black chicks. They want to fuck with a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and that's and literally that specific. They only because they know they can get chicks like that.
Right, because being mixed is just one step. It's one step closer to being white than being completely black.
Yeah, and she doesn't really have to date the fucking white dude. Like, she gets to date the spicy guy, and it's like, so, yeah, like.
Do you get guys, both black and white, wanting to date you because you're exotic?
You know what? I haven't heard that word in a really long time, as some sort of, like, attribute or qualification. But I don't date. Let's put it that way. Right now in my life, I just don't date because I don't have the space to explain myself. I hate translating myself. I hate the idea of having to sell myself because somebody doesn't understand or somebody doesn't get something about me. And so when I say I like brown guys, I don't even have a lot of experience dating brown guys. It's like I just want somebody where I don't have to explain stuff to you all the time or explain, like, that statement that you made to me was harmful, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, but to see, just straight guys are just so much more oblivious.
Yeah, that is a harder.
They are so much more fucking oblivious.
Oblivious to
just sensitivity. Period. You know what I mean? just like being. I mean, of course, like I said, I'm not making blanket statements. Talking about any straight guy, I'm talking about for the most part.
And it's
emotionally clueless. Let's just say that.
What about culture in the home when you get married and things like that? When you settle down and get married, I mean, are you going to want to bring any kind of black culture, white culture? What type of culture are you going to?
I'm going to bring world culture.
Yeah, I'm going to bring my culture because that's the culture that I know. Like, I don't feel, and that's another thing that I can't fucking stand is there's this idea that I'm somehow obligated to do certain things as a black woman or as an apparent black woman. Like, I'm obligated to like, I felt obligated to date. You got to date black men. It's like I date who I want to date, and I dated plenty of black men. Like you said, I did not only date black men in high school. My first boyfriend in high school was a mixed dude, Eric, and he took me bowling on our first date. And I dated Dushan when I graduated high school. Like, when I did date guys that were in high school, they were usually black. And because it's in a way too painful to date white dudes. And then the other kind of brown dudes aren't interested in dating black women. They're usually, like, in this culture, in this, in Southern California, they're more interested in dating white women. So I don't think that I'm less than, and I don't think that I'm less attractive. I just think if that's what you want, go for it. But I'm not going to fucking try to sell myself. I'm not going to try to say, like, I'm a really fucking cool person. I've got a lot going for me. I'm funny, I'm fun, and, I'm cute, and I have a lot of interesting stories. I've been, around the world, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel like I need to do that, and I don't want to do that. If I need to do that, and if I need to wear all that armor or all that signage to get somebody to interested in me, I'd rather not have it. I'd rather just,
Well, yeah, dating for her and me is entirely different, especially in this town. Me, it's like a fat person going to hometown buffet, living in L.A. Because, that's all there is Hispanic here. So it's just like, I just go out and just pick. I've never had a problem snagging ass. So it's just never been an issue for me. I just see one, pick them. And one time I didn't even say a word. We just locked eyes and I went like that. And he knew what I meant. He got in my car.
Me, on the other hand, I don't go almost 2 years without it.
Being a gay man, we get straight to the point. If we want dick and ass, we get it.
Do that. I wish I could do that. But
and we don't even have to speak.
Because half the time, like, I don't want to be fucking any guy that's like, just the idea of fucking some dude where he's like he's so excited to be fucking someone that's different than him. Like, that just grosses me out.
Well, yeah, it's a little different for you.
Yeah, so I just don't do it.
What about friendships? What kind of, has being mixed influenced you to have different types of friends?
All my friends are Asian. There are the other white people, but they understand what it's like to be, a minority, to be ethnic, to be black.
I was thinking about this thing we're going to do today. I had a thought about my friends, and I noticed that like 4 or 5 of my friends are mixed. One, James, is Vietnamese and Italian. My other friend, my best friend Jeremy, is Puerto Rican and black. And I've just, when I really thought about it, I'm like, shit. So in adulthood, I definitely identify with people that have the same experiences as I, because they all grew up different. In growing up in that gray area, not necessarily being of one or the other. And there is, just like Tina was saying, you're always invited to the party, but you're never in the back room because you're not Asian, you're not white, you're not black, you're that other box. And it's like, it's really hard to identify with any single particular group that way. You're in the general group, but you're, like in high school, everything was extremely segregated.
Yeah.
There's even in the lunch area, there was the white area, there was the black area, Hispanic, and Asian. It just went like that.
They even called it that.
It just went like that.
Where did you go?
I didn't.
I went home. I went home for lunch because I didn't have time for any of that bullshit.
I didn't. I was too busy shopping. I had a shopping problem.
Addiction.
Yeah.
A little bit of one.
No, I used to, I had 2 jobs in the 10th grade to support my shopping habit. And I used to shop at Saks and Neiman's, and then I used to take the bags and cover my books in high school with the bags. And I loved them so much because the Saks bags they were jet black with the like hooker lipstick red Saks Fifth Avenue writing on them. And everybody was like, "What's Saks Fifth Avenue?" They're like, "I gotta get out this motherfucker. They don't know what Saks Fifth Avenue is. I can't fuck with these children. They don't, you know what I mean?" So I was like, I moved to San Francisco. No, but my counselor told me I think this was the beginning or the middle of 11th grade, because I could not stand high school. I could not stand high school. So I'd rather go out and work and get a job than go to school. But she told me, Joey can go to night school, he could go to summer school, he can go to night school and summer school for the next 2 years and 3 summers, and he still wouldn't graduate. So I dropped out.
Good on ya.
Do you think the kids these days have it easier than we did when we were?
No. I think they have it. There's easier in some realm, and then there's harder in some realm. Like, just technology is totally changing the scope of the way people interact, like IMing and MySpace and.
But you know what?
Texting.
It is. I think they have it harder. But what is even worse than having it harder is being under the illusion you have it easier.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think they have it harder, but don't even fucking know it. They have it more difficult.
Why do you think that they have it more difficult now when there are more multicultural, more mixed people?
Because of you're being inundated with so much information from so many different directions. It's like when we were growing up, all you had was MTV. If you wanted a music video channel, you had one. Now you got BET, you got VH1, VH1 Soul, VH1 Country. You got the internet. You know what I mean? You're being pulled in so many different directions that I think it's much harder, or it could be much easier to find yourself because we didn't have the subcategory.
The music is specifically marketed in segregated demographics. There's nothing all-encompassing about the marketing of music. And I've always thought I give music a lot of power because music has always been a cultural expression. It's always been an expression of a specific culture. And when we were growing up, you had, like, Kiss FM played everything, and then you had, like, Mighty 690 that played everything, and you had, like, those two stations, and that was it. What you heard Prince, and you heard Michael Jackson, then you heard Madonna, and then you heard Tears for Fears. You know, it's like you heard everything all at once. Here, they make it a point to segregate, and that's white music, that's black music, and there's some sort of pressure to make sure that you like this music if you're this ethnicity, and to make sure that you like that music, and that's where you belong. And I think that it has a huge impact on.
But when I say worse, I don't necessarily mean in the respect of race. I just mean in the respect of just growing up, period. Being misinformed, being so diverted with so many things that don't matter.
Distracted.
Right. Like when I'm speaking of the internet, all these different so many things that are going on that aren't real, that I think it's much more difficult for a young person to grow up now because they are so uninformed. They have so few life skills, and when you're so sheltered and then also sheltered and diverted, you're just not awake. You're not aware of what's really going on. And I think being multicultural or being mixed ethnically gives me special goggles. And it's like I see what's really fucking going on. You know what I mean? When I see how white people react to me, white people don't see that. You know what I mean? I see that.
Yeah.
So I see what's really fucking going on. You know, and we're blessed with that. But I think kids today, even if they're mixed, I mean, it took me a long time to find myself and be okay with who I am, as far as being gay, as far as being mixed, as far as being, you know, from a single parent household, all that shit. But if you're so uninformed, you don't even know where to begin to find yourself.
You had talked about checking off other earlier. What do you guys check?
I always check other.
Always.
You will never
ever checked anything other than other.
Ever be able to define me. I'm going to define me. So if you don't give me an other box or a mixed multiracial box, I will check nothing.
Yeah, I don't check anything.
Because I will refuse to be white and check Caucasian, and I refuse to check black because that's the one or the other.
I had a question and I lost it. Damn.
Was it about your mom?
No.
I don't know. I was
this isn't about me.
No, I know, but I love that story where she was like...
her,
I just love that. I mean, it's very insightful, like, for somebody that...
No, it was, damn it. I've pretty much covered everything.
Was it friendship?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if something's left out. I don't know. I mean,
did you ever do anything to try and fit into one side or the other side? And I mean anything. Highlights, dancing, whatever. The music you listen to. Was there anything that you did to try and fit into the other side?
I couldn't ever say that I didn't do stuff to fit in, but I never looked at it as fitting in an ethnic group. I looked at it as fitting in, period.
To a group.
Yeah, just, like in junior high, your thing was to wear Keds and Guess jeans, and that's what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to be different. I wanted to wear Keds and Guess jeans, because that was the group of people that I identified with. I didn't want to wear Slayer shirts or Pantera shirts or Iron Maiden. That wasn't the group I identified with, and I didn't want to wear Gucci and like the Gucci sweatshirts and have the fucking black chick mullet where you got the short hair on top and long hair. I didn't want to do that because that wasn't something I identified with. I identified with Keds and Guess jeans, and so I wanted to be that. And I don't know if it was necessarily because white girls were doing it, because I wasn't a big fan of being friends with white girls. I just was, because there weren't any other girls to be friends with. Like Asian chicks weren't that accommodating and welcoming at that time, and black chicks hated the shit out of me. So I'm not going to try to, like I said earlier, I'm not going to try to sell myself on somebody. If you don't like me, fuck you. You're the one missing out. So I'm going to go.
I think I had brief moments. When I say brief, I mean very fucking brief moments of trying to fit in. But ever since I would say 12 or 13, I've never even been remotely interested in fitting into anything. I've always been a loner. I've always done my own thing. If you tell me right, I'm gonna go left. That's just me. So fitting in has never been a priority to me, ever, 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 ever. Yeah. I love being different and standing out.
That's definitely how I am now. And that's how I've lived my adult life, and absolutely. And it's like, if you don't want to come to my party, because I'm not coming to yours. It's like, I'm having fun at my party. Lots of people have fun at my party. So if you're not interested,
it's actually helped me, in adulthood, being biracial, especially doing what I do.
Which is?
I'm a makeup artist in the entertainment business, and even though I don't have or get very many white clients, because especially people in the business, they like to be around their own kind.
It's very segregated.
It's very segregated. But and again, this is also playing on stereotypes, but like I said, being biracial, you see shit how it really fucking is. And me being biracial, I have a slight advantage. As unfair and as fucked up as it is, I still have a slight advantage over 100% black other artists that look, could be similar to me and they're similar to my skill. So,
do you feel that professionally you've gotten an edge?
I always thought that I did until I got to the company that I got to, but I hate to sound like this. I hate to say this because I don't want to sound conceited, but it was never about like being light-skinned black. It was always about being attractive. I always thought I had a leg up because I was attractive, and I wasn't unattractive.
That too.
And I readily admit that I use it. I mean, why not use this? Like, what if Thelonious Monk never decided to play the piano because he was embarrassed of his? It's like it's a gift. It's like if it's given to you, you might as well use it. And that's and I've always used that. I've never felt like, oh, well, because I'm half white, like I'm gonna have a leg up on the competition.
No, but I've never felt that. I just know that.
It's, what it is? It's like, I know that I can speak the language. I know when I go in there, like they're looking at me and they see one thing, but I know their language, and all I have to do is drop a couple of names of some obscure bands that they'll be shocked to fuck that I know about, and then.
You're talking about white people.
Yeah, because white people are the key to fucking everything in my world. It's like they're like they run
So do you feel like you
corporations.
speak the language of white people and black people equally?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say equally, no.
I do.
Yeah, I don't. No, equally, he does, but
I speak Ebonics and white folk.
I don't. I
I
understand
speak
though.
Caucasian. No, I think
I understand a lot of different languages.
I
but
just
don't
think
know
a lot
how
of
to speak
people, a lot of
this one.
like taped up.
It's going to in like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep talking until.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful. Thank you. I don't know if any of our rants were to the point or concise.
Great.